back to After the Bell. This is the legal setback for Cairn India. The Delhi High Court today rejected the oil and gas explorer's plea seeking permission for export of surplus crude from its Barmer oil fields in Rajasthan. The High Court cited the terms of production sharing contract that the Vedanta Group company had with the state explorer ONGC. Ashmit, who was in court now, joins in with the details. So Ashmit, take us through the reasoning that the Delhi High Court gave for this adverse order.
Well, before the reasoning, a brief word on what the issue essentially is. Now, what we understand is that under Cairn's production sharing contract with the government, what we understand is that for every 100 units that are prepared, that are extracted, about 30 of that has to be given to the government, and of the 70, it has to be sold to government appointees, which in this case happen to be oil PSUs. Now, in the rare case that the oil is not absorbed by the oil PSUs, then in that situation, Cairn India has the freedom to sell to domestic private refiners. Now, that is the condition which was subject to challenge by Cairn. Cairn had moved the Delhi High Court. Its argument essentially being that once the oil has not been absorbed by the oil PSUs, they have complete rights under the production sharing contracts to proceed with and to go ahead and to export the crude in question. Now, this was a stance that was fiercely opposed by the centre. The centre argued that it's against national policy. We import 85% of our crude requirements, that there is a national policy in place that bars any such outbound movement of crude, especially unrefined oil, and that is a position that the government will stay firm with. Now, that's the position that the High Court has in fact agreed with. The High Court has reasoned that Cairn's application lacks merits, and that given the current situation, given the status of oil requirements of the country and the lack of oil supplies within the country, it cannot proceed and cannot oblige Cairn India's application. So to that extent, Cairn India meeting with a setback here at the hands of the Delhi High Court. What's important to point out, however, is that to soften the blow, the Delhi High Court has held that the dispute resolution mechanism given under the production sharing contract can be invoked by Cairn India. But that, of course, is a secondary prayer. The larger issue about export of crude has not been allowed by the Delhi High Court. Back to you.